Hello, welcome to another English Sparkling with Tweedy video. Davenport. This is a producer I think I've probably covered a few times before. They're based in, I think it's still just in East Sussex, but somewhere near the Kent border. Organic producer, and have been going quite some time, I believe. Will Davenport is the owner slash winemaker, I believe. And Limney Estate is the name they use for their range of sparkling wines. They do also do some still wines, which I think are branded differently, Davenport, but something else. This is the 2019 vintage. I've definitely reviewed some previous vintages of Davenport's Limney Estate White and possibly also the Rosé. Don't think I've covered the 2019 before. This is again from the mixed case of 6 that I received this week from Grape Britannia. Sorry, it's my back garden again. It's going to be very difficult for me to get out for the foreseeable future. Possibly a slightly higher than normal rate of wine faults from Davenport. I've had a couple of bottles from them which have been a bit iffy. But when it's good, it's good. I don't know if that's partly just down to sort of organic winemaking. That seems to slightly increase the risks of things going awry, all those natural yeasts floating around and stuff. Nice pale gold sort of a colour. And before giving that a swirl, I would say met with a apple-y sort of aroma. Nice anyway, not an absolutely classic English sparkling apple manifestation. Reminded of cooking apples and their skins particularly. Got a bit of a, what are they, Bramleys, or a bit of a swirl there really brings out the autolytic character. Now I'm getting more, I don't know, custard cream buns, something like that. There is something a bit creamy and a bit bakery-ish there. Now I'm getting a little squeeze of lemon juice. Possibly even some slight notes of dried fruit there as well. Could be a hint of something like apricot. Let me remind myself of the grape breakdown for this. I think it's on the back of the bottle. It is 50% Chardonnay. The remainder is Pinot with 30% Pinot Noir and 20% Pinot Meunier. Nice to have that on the back there. I very much appreciate that. 4 years maturation in the bottle, it says. Does that mean entirely on the lees? Possibly not entirely on the lees. Some of that could be under cork. So yeah, there definitely is some evidence there of that autolytic character, that time spent aging on the lees. Bready, slightly creamy, fruit character. Apples and lemons. I think I'm getting more of a Chardonnay sense from this than necessarily a Pinot sense, but maybe those apricot-ish notes probably point a little bit in the direction of Pinot. A little bit of stone fruit there. Nice on the palate, very fresh, very bright. Definitely not a faulty bottle here. Everything is working as intended. Perhaps I'm big unfair with that previous labelling of them as being more prone to wine faults than others. I may have just had an unfortunate run of having had a couple of dodgy ones from Davenport, but this certainly has absolutely nothing wrong with it. Definite fruit character there on the nose, fruit character there on the palate, nice bit of zing there, a slight almost sort of chalkiness to it, a mineral character that almost slightly sort of gives a sense of something chalky, but I don't think this is on chalk soil. I don't recall exactly. Coming back to the nose, I'm getting more fruit character now. There might actually be a bit of peach here. Yeah, perhaps the Pinot side of things is waking up a bit and getting more stone fruit character. A little bit of the apricots are possibly veering a little bit into peach. Could be white peach. It's not in this particular wine, but one thing Davenport has experimented with a bit is Auxerrois, which is a cousin, I believe, or a close relative of Chardonnay, and that tends to produce peach notes. But here I think it's the Pinot doing that for us. I like that. Apple-y again, but reasonably refined sort of apple on the palate. A bit more of a citrus zing, a bit more of a kind of peachy, stone fruity sort of sensation. The bubbles are quite fine. It's all quite streamlined and sophisticated. Definitely no weird rough edges here. Nice balance. Overall, actually reasonably dry, I would say. I think this is just in regular brut sort of range. Don't know the exact dosage, but I imagine it's somewhere in that classic 6 to 12 grams a litre for brut. Very pleasant. Not sure I can think of much else to say, but I'm quite happy with that. Cheers.